AEW's Full Gear left plenty to talk about. Whether it's the booking of the main event, wrestlers using staple guns, or most importantly, Will Ospreay officially signing with AEW. While it had some big moments, I think this show will rank at the bottom half for their pay-per-views this year. But that doesn't mean there weren't any great matches. And of course, I'm here to rank them. I'm Duke from Duke It Out, here to give you every match at AEW Full Gear 2023, from its worst to its best. Before I begin, please make sure to give this video a like and subscribe to the channel for more great wrestling content. Number 8, Hikaru Shida vs. Timeless Toni Storm. I hate putting this match at the bottom, but especially with the fact that you have two of the best talent in the company in one match, and besides the result, it kinda fell flat. There were a couple of good sequences in the beginning, but the heel interference spots kept slipping up. The shoes being thrown were alright, but everyone could notice Toni Storm having to readjust the metal plate. And it made Aubrey Edwards look kinda dumb. At least Toni Storm is the new champion, but that's probably all anyone will talk about from this down the road. Number 7, Orange Cassidy vs. Jon Moxley. The sequel to their insane all-out main event. And sadly, it never did live up to what their previous match delivered. You obviously still get some fun spots with these two guys, but the closing half didn't help much. Moxley was eating Orange Cassidy's punches, you get kickouts at one, but the heat just wasn't as strong as it could have been. Then as soon as you're done thinking, Cassidy retained. I'm guessing they wanted to protect Moxley after his concussion, but this rematch didn't seem too necessary. Number 6, the Golden Jets vs. the Young Bucks. A good tag match, but I think I put this lower because this really didn't start kicking for me until the last 10 minutes. It didn't help that this match had to follow the insane death match, but it was a little slow in the starting half. It kicked back up with the Young Bucks focusing on Jericho's arm, Kenny teasing which side he's really on, and there's always going to be a good sense of story when Kenny and the Bucks are in the ring together. The post-match meltdown from the Bucks is interesting, but there was a lot more carried from this show. Number 5, Adam Copeland, Sting, and Darby Allin vs. Christian Cage, Luchasaurus, and Nick Wayne. Sting's last match in California, and the crowd made sure to give him an incredible farewell. And that was carried with a really fun opening match. Adam Copeland having a big smile on his face with the paint was a great visual. And they did great little teases of a singles match with either Adam and Christian or Darby and Nick. And overall, it's a fun highlight reel on what makes these guys so meaningful to either AEW or wrestling in general. Plus, a huge shout to Christian Cage for letting his kids do the opening choir and getting his low blow revenge on Ric Flair. Definite highlights. Number 4, MJF vs. Jay White. Now, the booking of this main event has been talked about heavily on social media, so I wanted to add my opinion. The injury angle to MJF on the pre-show was intriguing enough, but it was kinda dumb when they mentioned Adam Cole, who is still not cleared, will compete in the main event instead. It could have worked if Cole wasn't, actually injured to maybe reveal him as the devil, but we still had MJF come out, and minus the story, the match itself is very good. MJF's diving cutter was one of the most insane spots of the year, and played the injured leg in a great over-the-top way. Jay White did a really good job with his heel work, but I think with the interferences or overselling of the story did harm my experience for it. But it was still a really good main event that capitalizes MJF being the first man to be AEW champion for one full year. Number 3, Chris Statlander vs. Julia Hart vs. Sky Blue. I can't lie, this is a top contender for the best women's pay-per-view match in AEW this year. These three have shared a friendship that's even been shown on television, so it sparked some really fun chemistry, with everyone getting a chance to shine. Sky Blue bringing more intrigue to her character, Julia Hart getting some very fun sneak attacks, and Statlander getting some great sequences to show off her dominance. And the ending had awesome execution with the exact right result. Julia Hart is one of the best characters in the women's division. And this title reign and hopefully continued feud with Statlander could rise the ranks in the division that fans have been begging for. Number 2, Ricky Starks and Big Bill vs. FTR vs. LFI vs. House of Black. An awesome multi-man ladder match that had a terrific pace and plenty of different types of spots to stay in your memory after watching. It brought in formulas that we've seen in plenty of ladder matches, but the execution was terrific and everyone shined. Dralistico got some awesome spots to show off. The stare downs with Brody King and Big Bill were very fun, and almost all the high risk spots got a big reaction out of me. And the ending had a really good execution too in the face-off with Ricky and Dax. While not in the top of lists for ladder matches overall, it's still a pretty damn good one. And number 1, Swerve Strickland versus Hangman Page. Even if you're not a fan of deathmatch wrestling, or just simply blood and wrestling for that matter, I think it'd be hard to deny that the Swerve vs. Hangman Texas death match was leaps and bounds match of the night. We've seen some brutal death matches in AEW, plenty from this year alone, but this might just be the most crazy and brutal match that AEW has ever had. There's many places to start, but I'll begin with the staple gun. Hangman stapling Swerve all over his body was both shocking and disgusting. So many times that Swerve just starts stapling himself like a sadistic madman. Then of course, Hangman tried to get even more sadistic by literally drinking Swerve's blood. Hangman, you twisted fucking bastard. And when you thought one man would get the win, the other would come back with even more twisted intentions. Or a couple of interferences. And Swerve getting the win by hanging Hangman was a shocking but terrific move. Swerve now has 2 pay-per-view wins in a row against him, and with the twisted dominance he has, he should be the next in line to be AEW World Champion. This deathmatch is disturbing by all ends, but shows how AEW can literally be the alternative to WWE. It's bloody, crucial, but at the same time, one of the most enthralling matches you could watch in any year. So that was my ranking of the Full Gear 2023 card. Please let me know your ranking for the pay-per-view in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell for notifications, and duke out your opinions below in the comments.